Hey, are you the type of person that plays Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, or Skyrim, but really wishes there's more content for the Dark Brotherhood? Well then, you might like this next book. Nevernight tells the story of Mia Covere, a would-be assassin that is seeking revenge for the murder of her parents and little brother. Unfortunately, 3 of the people responsible for the murder of her family are the 3 most powerful men in the country, so Mia seeks to hone her abilities by joining the Red Church, a group of assassins that worship Naya the Dark Mother, all for a shot of avenging her family. But first, she'll have to actually pass her initiation into the church. So, like Elder Scrolls mixed with Harry Potter, but all the students belong at Azkaban. Quick warning before we go further, the first chapter involves 2 parallel events, one of Mia losing her virginity and the other of Mia violently murdering someone. And if I remember correctly, the person she murders also shits himself. I hope the person she has sex with didn't do that. So just so you know the type of story you are getting into. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about our main character. She's described as having black hair, black eyes, and pale skin. She was a noble girl called Marrowborn in this series until her father was on the wrong side of a rebellion. Mia actually attended her father's execution along with her mother, Eileen Covere, where a normal mother would have protected their 10-year-old from the sight of an execution, much less her own father's execution. Mia's mother held her head to make sure Mia saw what they did to her father. Unfortunately, the Lady Covere would be arrested that same day, sentenced to the worst prison in the Empire along with her baby boy, who was still nursing. Mia was to be drowned in the river if not for the intervention of a shadow. Let me explain real quick. Several different magics exist in this universe. Mia is a Darkin, a person capable of manipulating shadows. For those of you who are into anime, think Shikamaru from Naruto. Anyway, most Darkin, at least 3 out of 5 in this story, would gain a shadowy familiar in the form of an animal. In Mia's case, her familiar was a cat, whom she would name Mr. Kindly since it saved her life. Not the most creative name, but naming things was never Mia's strong suit. Her previous cat was named Captain Puddles because it kept pissing everywhere. She named a horse she stole Bastard because, well, it kept biting her. To be fair, she did steal the horse and drag it out into the desert, so, you know, to be fair to the horse. So Mr. Kindly, besides being a great distraction, was also able to fuse with Mia's shadow and drink her fear. Not enough to devoid Mia of all common sense, but enough that she was able to face the perils of this world without cowering. Little Mia would eventually find herself on the doorway of a high-ranking member of the Red Church, who would train Mia for the next 6 years, before sending her off to join the Red Church officially. Though Mia's specialty as an assassin is in the use of poisons, she's no slouch with a dagger either, due in large part to her shadow manipulation and just plain fighting dirty. Early in the series, Mia finds herself on a boat and she's accosted by 2 large men. She lets Mr. Kindly distract the 2 sailors, kicks one in the family jewels, and pushes him off the ship. The second sailor she would freeze in place using shadow magic, slam his face against the ship's railing, and then push him into the ocean as well. Again, our girl fights dirty. The story is called Nevernight because there are 3 suns in this world. Night only comes once every few years. I guess sometimes night would not have made as good of impact as the title, so they went with Nevernight. So let's discuss the Red Church. The Red Church are split up into 2 categories: the Blades, i.e. the actual assassins, and the Hands, i.e. the servants. When Mia reaches the Red Church, she learns that there are a total of 30 acolytes competing to join. Of the 30, the Red Church will only accept a handful of them into the Blades. The remainder who survive will become Hands. There are 4 classes in total, and the easiest way to become a Blade is to be top student at least one of the classes. The 4 classes are Songs, i.e. combat, Truths, i.e. poisons, Pockets, i.e. stealing, and Masks, i.e. spying, seduction, etc., etc. I jokingly compared this story to Harry Potter earlier, but I should stress that the students are in constant danger from all angles, and many of them even die. So yeah, basically Harry Potter. No, that's not fair. The teachers are either uncaring or wholly incompetent, much like Harry Potter. Alright, I'm gonna stop making that joke, but just know I can actually go on for a lot longer. So in the first class for the students, the Truths, the teacher literally poisons the acolytes and then tells them they have to figure out what they were poisoned with and concoct a cure for it, all while fighting off the effects of the poison. If they fail, they die. Luckily, it's a group activity and Mia and another student take point on that one. But that's day one, people. To become the top student in truths, the teacher wrote out a chemical compound to a very specific poison of her own creation. The students need to craft an antidote to this poison and prove that the antidote works by taking the poison and then drinking their own antidote. If you live, you get the recommendation, presuming you're the first one to actually come up with the antidote. Of course, you can forgo this recommendation and instead choose to focus on the other three. Songs is a bit more straightforward, it's just a fighting tournament. The person who wins the fighting tournament gets the recommendations. Pockets assigns a point system to different items throughout the Red Church. Steal that item and bring it back to the teacher and you get the points for that item. To give an example of the point system, a personal item belonging to a fellow acolyte nets you 2 points. The obsidian key of the revered mother, i.e. the second in command of the Red Church, that's worth 100 points. Of course, that obsidian key, she always wears it around her neck. So there you go. Get the most points by the end of the term and you win the recommendation. Also, pray no one finds out that you were the one that stole that item from them. So, Mask has the most abstract test. You are intended to go out into the city, find a secret, and bring it back to the teacher. Whoever brings her the best secret wins the recommendation. Again, what qualifies as a good secret is actually never stated in the book, so you would have to make assumptions on that one. Anyway, if anything I've stated sounds interesting to you, please check out the Nevernight series. It's really great. Obviously, Mia's motivation isn't anything new, it's not anything we haven't seen a million times before, but I will say that it still manages to be a fairly interesting story. I'll also say this, if you're interested in audiobooks, definitely spring for this one. The narrator does such a fantastic job on this one. It's literally like listening to a bard tell a story. Though I would say there is one thing that I don't like about it. A lot of the world building is done through footnotes. A lot of it is amusing to listen to, but it can be a bit distracting if you're listening to the audiobook. For example, you'll be in the middle of an action scene. Mia will say something, you'll get into a tangent about how Mia spent some time in the countryside. A minstrel convinces a farm boy that the way to a city girl's heart is to pinch them on the bottom. The country boy pinches Mia on the bottom. Mia then kicks the farm boy's ass. The farm boy turns around and decides to kick the minstrel's ass. And then we return to the present, and Mia's current companion will respond to whatever it was that Mia was just saying. So I hope you remember whatever it was. It can be distracting at times, is all I'm saying. Anyway, overall, this is a great story. I fully recommend it. This is not a paid promotion, though I would happily be paid to promote this book. If you actually have read this book, draw on a spoiler, tell me what your favorite scene is, who your favorite character is, anything. If you have enjoyed my inane ramblings, please feel free to comment down below, like the video, and subscribe to the page. Peace.